All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started. So this is Meredith with Telegen and our diabetes care team. Thank you for joining us this morning as we talk through social media and thinking about how social media could potentially help with DSMES program marketing efforts.
Good morning, everyone. This is Inka Deku with the Colorado Department of Health and Environment.
So what brings me to this work, Telegen is contracted with the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services for many task areas. Diabetes is one of those, and that's the task area that I work in, specifically charged with helping bring diabetes self-management education to underserved populations throughout the state.
And similar to Meredith, CDPHE does the same thing where we are trying to support DSMES programs by increasing access and utilization of your programs for Coloradans with diabetes.
Just our usual housekeeping items. If you're not speaking, if you wouldn't mind putting yourself on mute, *6 will both mute and unmute. And please be mindful of not placing your line on hold to avoid any background music. When speaking, go ahead and state your name. And we like to encourage depth in sharing, step up, step back. Also, we have chat open this morning. So aside from the question we're going to ask here in a second, feel free to chat in any questions or comments, and we'll address what we can while we have time. If we don't have time, we'll address those after the meeting. And these meetings are recorded and made available afterwards. All right, so here, if you wouldn't mind opening up your chat function, if you're with us on the webinar, chat in your organization. We'll see your name pop up when you type in the chat. So your organization, the city or town you're calling in from, and if you're ADA recognized, AADE accredited, or neither. And Morgan, since you're not on the WebEx, if you just want to share that.
I'm ADA recognized.
Very good. All right. So Roseanne with PSL, ADA recognized program, and Lucas Smith with Buena Vista Drug, who will be talking for a few minutes with us this morning about his social media marketing efforts. It is a fairly newly recognized or AADE accredited program out of Buena Vista. So welcome, Lucas.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Glad to share what I'm doing with social media marketing.
So yeah, today we're going to learn from DSMES program staff on how they're using social media to market their program. And so Lucas is presenting at 8:30, and then we're going to have Susie at the noon call from Northwest Colorado. And then we're going to go into a conversation on how you want to get more information how DSMES program staff can stay connected outside of the sharing calls. And so we always like to do a polling. Oh, sorry.
No, that's
Meredith, do you want to do it? So we just always like to do a polling question, engage where the group is at in terms of the topics for the call. And so today, the question is, to what extent does your DSMES program use social media, like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, just a few examples to market your classes? 100% of class offerings are pushed out through multiple social media platforms. 100% are pushed out through at least one form of social media. Fairly consistently, less than 100% pushed out through at least one form of social media. Less than 50% are pushed out through social media. Our organization has a social media site, but we do not use to market our class offerings. Our organization doesn't have a social media presence. our classes aren't open to those outside of our organization. So the poll should open up on the right-hand side. Select one option and be sure to click submit, and the poll will close in about 20 seconds. And then Morgan, if I went too fast or if there's, you can share verbally. That would be great.
So here at Good Sam, we do have social media, and we do advertise our program on social media, but classes-wise, we just haven't posted classes through social media that way.
And so the poll is ended. Thanks for sharing, Morgan. And then there'll just be a second before the results populate. Is there something on our end, Meredith, that we need to do to show the results?
I haven't marked share with attendees, but I can see on my end that
Okay.
there's one response for our organization having a social media site but not using it to market our class offerings. And of course, you and I didn't respond, and then the other response was 100% or push out through at least one form of social media.
Perfect. So next up we have Lucas Smith from Buena Vista Drug in Buena Vista, and he is a newly accredited AADE, and we're really excited to have him kind of show some of his work through how he's trying to market his DSMS program through his pharmacy. And I just wanted to acknowledge I was really excited that he was awarded. We had a mini grant out for our DSMS programs a few months ago to support marketing, and so he applied and was awarded some funds to do that. And so I think it was just really exciting that we had this opportunity to support some of our DSMS programs with our marketing strategies. And so I'm going to let Lucas go ahead and kind of just describe how he started doing this and kind of what are some of the results. And so, Lucas, when you're ready, we do have that PDF available, so just let us know and we can click the screen over to that PDF that you shared with me on the kind of the analytics of the Facebook post.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So, as you said, that we did get that grant to help with the marketing, and so I have a marketer that we use at the pharmacy for just general marketing topics to help with like radio ads and other things like that. So this grant, we decided to try and focus on social media and actually doing targeted like ad campaigns through Facebook, and then also native campaigns, which I'll explain what native are in a minute. But that's kind of a newer marketing tactic. So the Facebook ones, we have 3 different kinds. This one's just an image, so the one you're seeing on the screen right now. So it's the big thing with the marketing that I've learned with Facebook is they really, the best way for it to perform is to have less words and more images. So that's why the characters, there's not a lot of information about like our classes, but then there's a big picture, and then if you were to click on this, it'll direct them to our website with our education page from our website, which then has more information about the DSME program, and then something I just changed on my website that my marketer had suggested was make sure we had a big like call to action like highlighted somewhere on the website. So like we added a button that says sign up or ask more about DSME, and it go ahead and set up for them to send an email to the pharmacy to tell us if they're interested, and we can reach out to them and get them kind of enrolled in one of our classes. So that's kind of how these general marketing things work on Facebook. Is they have data. Ads perform better with less words and kind of more images. So this is just a static image one that we have. We have 3 different kind of campaigns we're going through with Facebook, and we're targeting specific populations. So we live in a rural area, so we're actually targeting a wide mileage range. We're targeting about a 30-mile radius, but that's really where we live, only 3 towns and maybe 20,000 people. So, and then we target age, so we're not targeting like younger kids right now, we're mainly targeting adults. I think we targeted, I think we set it at like 30 or 35 and older. It's kind of, and then also we can target who has like search or interest in health or any kind of health activity, just because you guys, as you guys probably know, it's hard to get somebody to make a change with their diabetes if they're not already kind of motivated, have a little bit of self-motivation. So if they've been searching for health things, hopefully that this will pop up. So that's pretty much how we target our campaigns to Facebook. And then if you go to the next screen, we have another one of our ads that we use. The next slide. So this is kind of a carousel. So these ones will, like the images here will slide through each ad. So it's a different picture each time, because nothing on marketing that my marketer says is that if people see the same image over and over again, they're going to start to ignore it. So having different images that slide across or movement kind of grabs the attention a little bit more. So that's another campaign we're trying to do. And then the third one, I think it's on here maybe. There's actually, it might be on the next slide. That's for something else. So the third one was just a video. So it's a 5-minute, like a short little video that just had somebody it's kind of there, and there's writing like diabetes on like a chalkboard thing. But it just gets people's interest and helps them look at our ad. And then with Facebook, they also provide analytics to see how your ads are doing. So I'll talk about that first before we go on to this slide. So this is the analytic report that kind of Facebook can provide. And so what we tried to do was we tried these 3 different ads initially to see which would perform best, and then after we saw that, we could maybe take funds from one and put it more to the other one just so we get better performance. And actually our ads, the 3 of them all kind of perform a little bit equally. And the way Facebook marketing works is you have a certain amount of like spending, or spend $400, and then the more clicks you get in that time range, obviously the cost of it goes down. So we spent $400. I think it was $400 over a 3-month or 4-month period, and so the more clicks we get, the more effective our advertising is. And I don't know if you can see this in that slide, but like the carousel ad performed pretty well. We reached in a month 1,500 people, which was an increase from the first month we started it, almost doubled it. And we had like 32 actual people that clicked on the link, but went to our website to get more information, which just made it more effective than the $1.50 per click. So that's kind of Facebook works. And then do you have the other one on here? The next page on that video.
Sorry, because I'm scrolling down. I'm just seeing this page right here.
Okay. Pretty much it's the same thing, but just shows how the static image and the video ad performed, and they were very consistent. Like with my campaigns and my demographic, it looks like people are responding very well to it, both of them. So we're not going to like stop one and focus on the other. We're going to have all of them as a variety, so people don't get used to seeing ads or see it more than once. This also tells you like who we're reaching. So on the graph, it looks like the women and men it looks like a big difference, but in reality the percentages at the top are fairly equal overall throughout the whole age group. And then it also has the age groups as you go along. So you can see that it's like women are way more interested in it as you get older, and then younger people are kind of more equal. So it's just interesting things to see. So we might, in the future, we can use this information, maybe target our ads even more specific to women that are older, because then they most likely will, if their husbands are diabetic, they might help convince them to make changes as well. So as long as we can get an impact that doesn't they're actually going to our website and getting more information is kind of our main goal for Facebook advertising, just because there's not a lot of information you can put in there in the wording on Facebook to be effective. And then if you want to go to the other ad marketing thing, that was the last slide. So these are just, those are actually like paid targeting ways that we do things on Facebook. And mainly we do a lot on Facebook. These ones are just general posts we post for our page and then share them to other local pages. Like we have a What's Happening in Buena Vista page, so we share it to that. There's just information about other like free education classes that we do. So we're really trying to focus on diabetes in general and just provide other, as long as it's easy for me, because people might not want to do that or might not qualify for it, but they just want general information. We provide monthly free classes once a month. And so these are just general posts that we get some action on. With the one downside of this is you don't get any analytics to see who you're actually impacting or reaching other than maybe the people that are liking the post. So this is another way we do it, but it's harder because we can't really measure the effectiveness of it. But it also doesn't cost anything because we're just posting it. And that's another one, back the same thing, is the free diabetes classes. So these are just some things we do. And you're not, when you're doing a post, you're not limited by characters like you are in the advertising. So you can put a lot more information in there. So along with these ones, we also share them to we recently just started doing Instagram, so we share some on our Instagram and Twitter pages. And we're very early starting to do some things like that, but Facebook's kind of where we mainly targeted. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I have of what we've been doing on social media. And we've been doing it for probably a month and a half, 2 months or so, and it's been effective. We've had, I'll probably say 5 or 6 people contact us, actually call us and email us about the DSME classes, and all of those that we talked to, I think 4 of the 7 actually got enrolled in our current class. So it's kind of small, but it's hard in our area because we have such a small population. But I feel like we're making strides and starting to get an impact with our social media marketing. So.
Thank you. I'm actually going to skip over a few slides because Northwest is sharing with us at noon today. But to the note that you just mentioned about the numbers that are calling in or showing interest versus I saw in one of your posts there were like 150 people that liked it. So it's obvious it's being visible. It's visible to those in your community, and you're seeing it. We've been trying this same approach at Pelican, and one thing that we noticed is if we go in and post on our event pages, when we just post the class as an event versus doing the advertising, if we go into the discussion page and add some comments, try to start some dialogue with the people that are liking it, that we start to have more people continue to comment more and then call and register for the class versus just being like a one-time like and then it doesn't end up converting into a referral. So that's also something that I just wanted to mention in sharing with all of you on the line if you're thinking about using social media moving forward.
I appreciate it. And I've heard that actually interacting with them is more effective than interacting with people on your page, but it's just hard when you're the pharmacists are working all day to log in and type back into to people, but I think we're going to try and work on it some more. But yeah, I agree with you that I've heard that before, that actually interacting is a lot more effective than just posting it out there. So.
Yeah, and one of the things is once you have people that have gone through your class, occasionally they're willing to be champions and come out and post the comments. So you don't have to do it yourself, but you have past participants that will come on and be your champions and help you spread the word that way. So that's also helpful. If you let them know that you would like them to interact in that way. So Angel, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Does anyone have any questions for Lucas? Roseanne?
This is Roseanne. I do. So you use a paid marketer to actually do those Facebook ads, correct?
Yeah, we did. So we had somebody that actually set up those campaigns, and we're trying it out. Because we got that small grant, we figured we'd actually try the paid campaigns and see how effective they are. The nice thing with Facebook, well, one, the marketer did do create the ads for us and set up the demographics, the target. If you're somebody that's very tech savvy or familiar with Facebook, you can do it yourself. And with Facebook, it's nice because you can set your own spending limit. You don't have to like a minimum amount. If you want to spend $100 a month, that's great. If you want to spend $1,000 a month, you can do that too, and just try to invest as many as you can. But that's the nice thing about Facebook. You can really, as long as you kind of have an understanding of how social media works, you can do it yourself and kind of pay your own budget.
So the other question I had was, are all of your classes free, or is it just a free get to know the program and then you get them into a class where you bill insurance?
So we have the DSME class is not free. We try to bill insurance. We can bill Medicare. It's really the only thing we can do as a pharmacist. But we have a cash price if people want to do that. The other ones are just a program we do. It's just a free, general, community-wide, once a month, 1 hour, just general diabetes topic. And that's the one that's free, that we just do it for an hour after we close. They can come if they want to. They're not like registered for any classes. They don't even have to have diabetes, but they just want to learn more about it. That's the one that we do for free. It's just come in and learn about diabetes if you're interested in it, pretty much. So,
and do you get any people that actually go to your classes then from those free classes?
We recently are starting to do this. We've had, I think, 2 of the free classes. We're actually doing another one of the free ones tonight. And we had 2 people from the first class actually sign up for the DSME class that we just started. So yeah, the free ones do help them as well, just because it kind of gets people in the door, and if they actually have diabetes, they get a little bit more interested in it as well. So yeah, I think the free classes are effective as well.
Okay, thank you.
Morgan, any thoughts you want to share? Any questions?
No, this has been very helpful. I mean, we have a Facebook page for Good Sam. So this is just kind of giving me some ideas that maybe we could, branch out a little bit more on it with our own just hospital Facebook page. So thank you.
Okay.
I just want to address Roseanne's question or comment about the ads being paid and call out specifically that on Facebook, one thing that Television has tried is both the paid ads that Lucas has talked about and just posting it as an event. And if you want to post as an event, that doesn't cost anything, but you can't necessarily define your audience and who you want to reach by zip code or demographics. However, the event pages will go out to those in your community. So, for instance, in the class that we did out in Ray, we created the class event page on Telegen's Facebook page, but then reached out to the local Ray communities and businesses that we know have the relationships in that community and asked them to share our event. And that's where we saw the registrations coming in. That's when the hospital shared our event. We also reached out, to local businesses, the library, the Chamber of Commerce. That's where the activity came to that end. So there is the option for some free outreach if you're interested in that. And I'd be happy to talk to you more about that if you'd like, Roseanne.
This is Roseanne again. One of the problems that I see is working for a very large medical center, and the Facebook page that we have is the medical center's Facebook page. I'm just afraid that A, they might not let us do this because we're such a small department, and B, will the whole thing get lost in all of the other things that are pushed out on Facebook from the organization. And so I don't know if anybody has ever tried it in a large organization like this, but that's the concern that I have.
Would they allow you to start your own Facebook page outside of?
I don't know. I mean, I can ask. They've just recently kind of opened up Facebook a little bit, so that it used to be that employees could not look at Facebook while they were at work. They've just changed that. And so it may be that that's partially in preparation for people being able to do more social media as independent departments. I don't know. But I will check with the marketing department.
This is a good transition just in the last minute because I just really wanted to get to the Facebook page. So CDPHE had that same historically kind of issue. It was kind of lived, the CDPHE Facebook page like lived in communications, and if you wanted to post anything, it had to go through the communications person. But now that because they're seeing that Facebook is just like the way that consumers get their information, we were actually able to do a closed Facebook group for diabetes educators in Colorado. And so I kind of just want to quickly touch on this super fast. These are some of the suggested names that I came up with, and I can put this in the call notes as well if you wanted some time to think about it. But the idea behind this is that we're really trying to provide an opportunity outside of these calls for you all to interact with each other. And so these are some suggested titles that I came up with. But if none of these strike your fancy, if there's another title, but we're going to be kind of doing at the diabetes conference June 7th, we're going to do a kickoff for the Facebook group to kind of continue that networking among you all. And so some of the questions I wanted to ask on today's call, but just because we don't have time, I really wanted to get a better idea of like what are some of the things that you want to see on this Facebook group? What kind of posts? What kind of information? How can we keep this Facebook group alive? And then kind of just moving on to the June. We don't have time for this part of the call. It's already 9 o'clock, so I want to be mindful of everyone's time. But be sure to register for the June 7th conference. 6 credits pending through AADE and CDR, and mileage reimbursement for those traveling over 70 miles. So please register. The website has the agenda of the speakers and what the topics are going to be. And so, as always, thank you for participating on the call today. I don't know if Meredith, you wanted to go over through the rest of the slides and the survey.
Yeah, so our June call, we're actually going to be doing sharing and feedback from what we learn in the June conference. So hopefully you're all able to join us for the conference. And then we always keep these resources up. As far as Miriam Todorowicz, that offer ends July 17th with our contract ending. So if you have any needs from her, be sure to get in contact with me before then. Always for reference here. And if you wouldn't mind answering our short survey before you close out of the WebEx today, we would greatly appreciate it. And Lucas, I want to thank you again for sharing your learnings with social media, as that becomes a more popular way to market your programs. So really appreciate your time. And if you have any other questions, any of you, or comments, you know where to find Inka and I. Thank you for joining, and we'll hope to see you in June.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
The leader has disconnected. The conference will be terminated in 5 minutes.